Welcome to LOA Today. I'm Walt Thiessen. With me today is longtime listener, poet laureate, and Taya master Anne-Marie Young. This is your daily dose of happy. We are so happy you decided to join us today. Anne-Marie, so often when we do these shows together, we end up talking with guests who have been through all kinds of trials and tribulations, come out the other side, right? This is like the same story over and over again, right? They come out the other side, They learn all this great stuff. They want to share it with the world. That's one of the reasons that they come onto the show. And it always leads to a fascinating conversation. And it's always in a direction we least expect. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a theme, and it's interesting to, like you say, to see which direction it's going to go in, because it's never always consistent, is it?
And you can't predict it. You can't say in advance how it's going to go. So, I mean, even though as you know, I will often ask a guest, like, do you have any particular, do you have a course? Do you have a book? Do you have a practice? Is there something that we're promoting, something along that line? And often that will lead to the question of, what is it the audience is looking for? And my response is, I have no idea. It's going to be different every time. It's just going to be, it's going to go where it goes, right? That's part of the fun of what we do around here. Well, I'm sure it's going to be the exact same thing today, because we're being joined by Zoia Ye, who has her own amazing and actually in some ways traumatic story. We're going to learn about that in a moment. But Zoia, welcome. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing?
Oh my
today?
God, thank you for having me. I'm so excited about the conversation today. I'm a big fan of your show. So let's dive
thank
in.
you. Yeah, no, we're glad to have you. And you got to give us the background. Tell us a little bit about, how you got to what you're doing today. Because there's always that backstory, and the backstory is important because that's how we identify with, why it is I want to listen to this person, why this person has something valuable to share with me. So, catch us up.
Oh, thank you. I've been for a long time really interested in what is in here. Like, why I was always having this question, why the pain that is in here, it's more like terrifying than someone will slap me or I will cut my finger, like we're so afraid to get hurt, like our feelings, we're trying to protect those. And I was always wondering what's going on, like, because there is no, I don't know, there is no painkiller for your broken heart. There is no band-aid for like your broken soul, your broken trust. There is no like drops for your tears, like nothing. So you cannot help that. And I've been learning and studying a lot, very careful, because again, you diving in here, like you trying to unlock something that can give you a lot of surprises, and those surprises can be not really pleasant because there is something inside that we're trying to hide, even from ourselves, not from others. And through my life, I've been really interested in self-development. And if we're going to talk about a little bit of sad part, but I don't consider it's a sad part. There was a hard, interesting moment because I'm a person and I'm trying to teach everyone to see good in everything that happened to you. I'm not justifying those people who are offending you, who manipulating you, who abusing you. They are bad people, period. But at the same time, what lesson did you learn through that situation? And I had this great, painful lesson of my life. I fall in love with a person who wasn't really nice. I fall in love with the abuser. And I was abused mentally, physically, sexually, and financially.
Ooh, boy, there's a combo.
Every box ticked.
Yeah, magic combo.
Wow.
Pick which one you like the best. And I've learned my lessons. Just me who've been through this can ask this question: what did I do wrong? Because if someone who never been abused would say like, this is your fault, will they try to play this victim blame game that is really, really unfortunately popular in this world. They say like, you did something wrong. But if I will ask myself what lesson I should learn through that, not what I did wrong, not what was wrong with me, like what lesson should I learn? And I've learned I didn't love myself. I didn't respect myself. I didn't know myself. I didn't know who I am here when no one is around. And, when you are not trying to learn yourself, sometimes God, universe, other powers that you believe in will bring you to the situation where you will be forced to face the truth. And my truth was, I wasn't really confident. I wasn't really knowing myself. And now it's different. Now I'm success catalyst. Now I not just help myself. Now I'm helping a lot of like hundreds of people. And they're not just women, they're men as well. Because abuse and trauma has no gender.
True.
You've been traumatized. Some of you've been abused. And it doesn't matter you are female or you male. So if in short, for many years, it is my story.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm also not completely surprised. I don't think Anne Marie is either, because it always comes down to that internal dialogue / relationship that we have with ourselves. And for you to confirm that once more is like, yep, okay, we got that one. All right, that's it.
Yeah.
And yet that is the challenge. That's the one, and it's a challenge that we all face every single day. It doesn't matter whether we've been through abuse. We still face it in lots of different ways. It's going to be anybody who's going through any kind of challenge in life is going to have to face up to that fact at some point that it all starts inside. The hard part is coming to that realization, saying, okay, yeah, it's me.
Yep. And you need to have enough information how to help yourself, how to deal with that. Because when you're facing something and you're just like, oh my God, what is going on? Like, I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to deal with my feelings, with my emotions, because the society taught you that there is good and bad feelings, but there is no good and bad feelings. There is no bad feelings. Please hear me out, people. Those feelings are valid, and all of them are feelings. They call them bad just because they don't know how to deal with them. For example, when the kid was crying and your mother, the kid's mother would say like, this is bad, you cannot do that. Why? Because she was embarrassed, because they were, for example, in public, and other mothers or other people were looking at her, and she didn't know what to do with the kid. But at that moment, the little person, the child, was experiencing some feelings, some emotions. He or she was learning the world, and the mother was like, no, you cannot do this. And that's why they labeled it as a bad feeling. And having those tools, having the knowledge, having the understanding, like, yes, right now I am upset. Yes, right now I am experiencing, if we're talking about some success, we're achieving some goal, I'm experiencing some doubt, there's ups and downs. It doesn't mean that I'm bad. It doesn't mean that I'm failing. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with me. It's just the situation that happened to me. And the failure is not something bad. It's a lesson. It's a script to your success. So this is really important. This is my main message to the people. Like, please study yourself. This is really important. And the most important relationships that you need to build with in this life, it's yourself. It's you. You are the main person, because only you know how to be happy, how to deal with your sadness, upsetness, how to become successful, how to support yourself, how to make yourself happy, how to make yourself comfortable, how to deal when you are vulnerable. Not your partner, not your parents, not your kids, not your neighbors, no one, just you.
That's beautiful. What a great message. I love that. Yeah. And to add in the idea that all emotions are valid emotions is certainly 100% true.
Yes.
And the fact that we label it as good or bad, I actually don't even call them good or bad anymore. I call them desired or undesired. Because I just don't want the emotion, but that doesn't mean I have to, pretend that it isn't there. It doesn't mean that I have to, dismiss it as being unimportant. Actually, I'm better off if I don't do that. But it's also valid for me to say, I don't want that emotion. Okay, well, yeah, I'm right. I get it. I don't want the emotion. That doesn't mean that I don't need to kind of do what it takes to release it, to feel good about it, to find a way through it.
Yeah,
It's
true.
part of the process. Yeah.
And you know how many people I have, like in the private consultation, they say like something was wrong with me. I was like, why? I feel sad. Something happened to me and I felt sad.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, but what is wrong? And they just every other person saying, I don't want to feel bad, this bad emotions that people
Mm-hmm.
label them as a bad.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, but if you won't be able to feel all the emotions, that all the spectrum that you have here inside you, that would be something wrong with you.
Mm.
Not when you are upset. If
Right.
you are constantly happy, you are lying to yourself. I'm sorry. There is no other way. You are lying to yourself. You fooling yourself. And that is not fair to you. And that is not fair to people who loves you, who next to you. Because you cannot fool for a long time them or yourself. When you're suppressing your feelings, those bad feelings, one
Mm.
day they will explode that much that you won't be able to pick up the pieces. Yourself, your family, your partner, your relationships with your kids, with your partners, with your parents. Never suppress your feelings. And you said right, desirable and not desirable. Why? Because at the moment when you feel blue, you don't know what to do. You don't know how to deal with that, because again, no one taught us and no
Mm.
one told us what to do when you're furious. You want, I don't know, like crush the glass towards the wall. But you know that after all, you need to clean up, pick up the pieces, make sure that no one will step on the glass, right?
Yeah,
just
right.
you just like thinking twice before you release your anger. But there is so many other healthy ways to release your anger. And anger, it's not a bad feeling. It's not a bad feeling. Anger, it's your power. It's your fuel. If you become, okay, just let's play this game. Like, do you remember some times ago when someone was trying to push your boundaries, like pushing and pushing and pushing, and you were trying to, be a peacemaker, just like,
Mm.
okay, please don't do this, please, or you're just trying to avoid that person, or trying to avoid the conversation, a specific um, topic. And then when you become really upset and angry and you say like, you know what, that's it, I'm done. What happened next? The person that you're talking to would be like, I don't like you anymore. You are a bad person. And like, of course I'm a bad person right now, because I set up my boundaries and I did something that I did something that showed you you will never talk to me again this way. And this is a good anger. You not insult that person. You didn't do anything bad towards him, but you showed your power towards yourself. You say like,
Mhm.
you don't talk to me like that.
Mm.
And if we started talking about the boundaries, there's so many people who don't know how to set up the boundaries, and they're afraid to set up the boundaries. Because
I think
why?
it's more the latter. I think they actually do know how to set them, but they're afraid to actually try.
Yeah, why? Because they are afraid to deal with this anger from the other person who would say, oh, I don't like you anymore. You're not comfortable anymore. I
Mm.
cannot use you anymore. I cannot, like, talk behind your back something about you, or, and okay.
The
I'm
emotions are
get,
coming out as we're talking
yeah,
about this.
yeah, this is my emotions. I'm really emotional about all this, because I truly believe that everyone's supposed to have its own boundaries, and doesn't you don't need to be afraid to set up your boundaries.
Mm.
And if you don't know how to do that, and if you have some problems with, like, you setting up your boundaries and you don't know why it's not working, please watch one of the videos on my YouTube channel. I explain it step by step why people don't respect your boundaries. In a
Mm.
couple of words, they just don't want to respect your boundaries. They want you to respect their boundaries, and
Mm.
they want to take advantage of you,
Sure.
of your kind heart, of your softness, of your greatness, of because it is something that world is doing. They're just trying to use you, and it's up to you if you let other people to use you and take an advantage of you. And it doesn't matter who it is, your kids, your partner, your parents, your colleagues, whatever, doesn't matter. your boundaries are for you.
Yeah.
Listen to this. All those boundaries, not to make other people mad, upset, angry, dislike you. That boundaries are for your peace. What is here? What is inside? And when you will understand who you are for real, what is your and what is society told you should be yours, that is the magic moment where it's happening. When everyone is looking for the magic pill, there's the magic pill. When you will discover yourself, what is here, what is your own values, what is your boundaries, you will say to this world, like, here's the line, right? You're not crossing. And I don't care who you are. I love you with my whole heart. But you, my dear, not crossing there. Again, as I said, they can be mad, they can be upset, but honey, if you will let them broke you, you won't be happy. You won't last forever. And at the end of the day, when you like 80 years old, 90 years old, and you looking back in your life, believe me, you can regret that you never set up your own boundaries.
This is a big issue too, in a lot of different ways. I mean, we've talked about it many times here on the show, but out in the broader society at large, I'm honestly quite flabbergasted at how widespread the burying of feelings still is. I mean, it's something that there's been a lot of progress throughout my lifetime. I mean, my memory dates back to the 1960s, which was a time of turmoil and change and so forth. But nevertheless, despite all of the improvement that has been made, it still astonishes me how so many people to this day not only believe in keeping their boundaries, not their boundaries, their emotions stuffed down, but they actually teach it. That I know about people who actually say, if you want to get what you want in life, you actually have to not be emotional. Yeah, you have to have no emotion at all. And I look at them and I think of like, wow, do they even understand what it is that they're arguing for?
Do they
I'm not
really
sure they
understand?
do.
Do they really understand that what they are teaching, it can lead to the cancer, to the other terrible
Yeah.
diseases?
And I don't think they know that. I don't think they realize that. I don't think
Yeah,
they've made
that's
that
true.
connection.
I'm sorry I cut you off, because again, like, if someone is like there's so many nice coaches that is trying to teach you how to live your life and giving you all those like magic tools that will like improve your life, will keep you motivated. And okay, people taking the classes, they paying thousands of dollars. And what happening when no one is watching? What happening if when no one is screaming out the stage or out the screen on you, like, you can do this, just do this? What happening? You falling apart, you frustrated, you burn out, and you don't understand what's going on. You literally just paid $1,000 for this online class, or like in the person class, and you just like, okay, I got motivated for 2 days, and then again. What happened? Because they didn't teach you how to deal with your feelings and emotions. When you suppose set up a goal, right? And you need to do A, B, C, D, E, whatever. They teaching you what actions need to be taken, but they don't teach you how you supposed to feel during this process. Because if you set up a goal for yourself, I won't become a content creator like in a year. No one will teach you that during this process there are going to be ups and downs, and those downs, again, as I said, you need to know how to deal with that. You need to know how to give yourself self-love, self-support. You don't need to left everything and run to your next coach session. Coaches are good, and like, again, this is what I'm offering, support, right? But at the same time, you need to have a lot of tools that help yourself, because I have multiple tools that I can offer you how to help yourself. But guess what? Something that is working for me, it won't work for you. You would say, like, this is something like ridiculously unacceptable. I'm not doing this meditation on the top of the hill or whatever, like, or I'm not, going to the woods and screaming like a wild animal, or like, I'm not doing this, or I'm not going to the gym. If someone would say, like, there's so many, if you feel like blue, if you feel down, if you're upset, depressed, go to the gym. If someone would say me go to the gym when I'm depressed,
I
I will
can see
teach.
from the look on your face that wouldn't have worked.
I will I would ask that person to go to the gym by himself and do whatever I will tell him. I will teach him what to do if he will, like, this is not my way. And that's why, again, turning into what is in here, not that someone told you. I have multiple tools. I can help you. I can offer you like many of those. Everything that you know, even something that you never heard about. But you might trying so hard, working so hard, doing every single day what I ask you to do, like meditating, for example, right? And you just say, come on, okay, Zoya, why? Like, I paid you already thousands of dollars and it's not working. Why? Just because you never teach yourself, you never study yourself. You don't know, like, that meditation is not for you. You don't need to meditate. You need to go and like box in some bag in the boxing club. It's just everyone is different.
Yeah.
So true.
Well, that's part of what it is to learn yourself, right, Anne Marie? I mean, when you're learning who you are, you have to kind of explore things. You can't just take what somebody else does and what somebody else says.
Exactly. You have to study yourself. You study your past and study how you've reacted and get to know yourself. But I think there's so many ways to distract yourself from knowing yourself nowadays. So I think actually that's a really fundamental key point, is getting to know yourself, rather than like, oh, I don't want to feel this, I'm just going to go and eat something, or I don't want to feel this, I'm just going to go on my phone and doom scroll. Sit down with it, feel it. There's nothing wrong.
And nothing wrong. And you made a great point. When you're trying to learn yourself, you're facing some feelings that you're just like, no, I don't want to feel this way. It's really hurting me. It's triggering all those memories, all those emotions, all those feelings. I don't like it. It's hard, and that's okay. You saying, okay, my dear, whatever. Like, you can have your inner name. How was your kid? How your parents were calling you when you were a kid, when they were really happy with you. You saying, like, in my case, that I was a sunshine, or I was a baby bunny. So that was like, and they were calling me this way. And you talking to yourself as a kid, you say, okay, my baby bunny, I see that you really scared to feel that fear or that pain. That's okay. Give yourself a time. We'll come back to this tomorrow or in your week. Just let me know when you are ready, and let it go. That's it. You don't force yourself, because if you will force yourself, and again, let's go to what market is offering us. There are so many therapists and coaches who will force you, push you to go through that situation in the past, and you're not ready, and they will hurt you and re-traumatize you, and that is really, you never want to be in the hands of that kind of person, of professional, because you've become. I had an experience a couple years ago. I had this therapist, and I've been with the therapy with her in the therapy for like 2 years, and I didn't see any progress. I didn't feel anything. I was like, every time after the hour session, I felt like really weird. I couldn't even explain what is that. Like, sometimes I felt like really good. Sometimes like I was like, what is going on? And I ended up business with her. Like, we never. And I took a break, and then I realized she was always trying to put me in her box, how she see the world, through her values, through her tools, through her like understanding of this world. She never gave me to be who I am, to see. She never was able to see who I am for real. And that is the therapist. That is someone that I was paying money for.
What you're touching on reminds me of something.
Okay.
Something that I've talked about with my co-hosts here on the show, with other guests and so forth, about how one thing that people do a lot comes back to haunt them. And the thing that I'm talking about that comes back to haunt them is many people will stay in a negative state. Like, they'll live there. They'll live there ongoing, continuously, and maybe it's an anger state or a depressed state or something like that, and they won't leave it. And of course, the message that we come up with is, well, it's okay to be angry, it's okay to be depressed. Just don't stay there for the rest of your life. Climb out of it at some point.
Yeah,
And
don't make
that's
it your identity.
What's that?
I said, don't make it your identity.
Don't make it your identity, right? Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
I love this conversation. They saying, I have an anxiety. I have a depression. Never say that. You know why? Because when you saying with this exact words, you are identifying yourself. You giving yourself a diagnosis. Like instead, what you should say, I feel anxious about this. I feel upset. I feel depressed about that.
One of the best phrases I ever heard was, I'm experiencing this. That way it's not me. I'm experiencing it.
You labeling the feeling that you are experiencing right now, but you're not identifying yourself with this disgusting, terrible, terrifying thing as an anxiety or depression or whatever. And I know your doctor will be absolutely happy when you will come over and say, like, I have an anxiety. He's like, okay, let me give you some pills. Okay, money. Like, honey, we're going through the good vacation this year. I got like another who is depressed or anxious. Like, okay, let's do this. No, but again, don't take me wrong. I'm not against the medication. There are some severe cases that need to be treated with the medication. But when it's just started and you feel it, you can help yourself. Yes. Find a good coach, find a good therapist, find someone professional who can see, because our traumas, our limiting beliefs, they're like running in autopilot in our head, in our heart, in our soul. And sometimes most of the times, every time, our brain trying to protect us by saying, okay, there is something I don't like or something that I don't know how to deal with. I never dealt with that before. You know what? I'm going to stay here on my couch in my comfort zone. Don't do that. But if you're going to go to some professional who will be honest with you, because sometimes we don't like honest people, because honest people will say something that can hurt our feelings. And again, I'm not saying like you are whatever, like people can say, like, it's just highlighting, like, I see that you are feeling anxious about the relationships with your partner. Yes. And go deeper. Okay, what happened? Why? Where was the first time you experienced that? What is your past experience that is showing you and telling you that you need to feel anxious right now about the situation?
My ex-wife was a former psychotherapist, and she used to tell me that one of the best things that she learned while she was providing therapeutic services was the importance of encouraging her clients to, in her words, grow or go.
Yes, fantastic. Agree.
Yeah. And that's really the key piece to this whole idea of whether you're going to live in a particular emotional state for the rest of your life. If you're going to stay in that state, or it might even be a stuffed emotional state, so you don't actually feel anything and you're to stay in that state for the rest of your life. But no matter which way you look at it, you're basically sticking yourself. You're sticking yourself in a place where you can't have improvement. Everything just continues to get worse and worse. Things continue to fall apart. And then you're amazed, like, well, but I'm not doing anything different.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the point. You're not doing anything different.
Yep, absolutely. And when you feel like, I have 2 points to make. First of all, if you feel really bad and stuck and you're just like, oh my, like, there's nothing to change in my life. Liar. You know what? If everything is look the same and you've been working for 20 years for the same company, you've been doing like the same morning routine and all the things, you can change it. Just choose the different path to your route, different route to your office. Or instead of morning coffee, make yourself a matcha. Or instead of waking up and I don't know what people do first thing in the morning. It's different for everyone. Like, walk your dogs, or do little exercises, or sing a song, or say good morning fucking sunshine, make them. You can do anything different, and you don't need much money. You don't need be a millionaire, billionaire to change your life. No.
Okay.
And second statement that I want to make is I really agree with your ex-wife, because when we are going to the therapist, we're thinking that he is some magician and he will do all this
Oh yeah.
and everything is fixed and I'm branding new, I'm fantastic. Okay, she did all the job. No. If you want me to do all the job for you, never sign up with a private consultation with me. I'm not doing any job for you. You doing everything for yourself, and I am just your tool. I'm your eyes through your soul. If you are not ready to take a responsibility for your own life, no one, again, no one, even God, won't help you.
We often talk about law of attraction. Literally, as we're talking and as you're making your statement there, I'm looking up and I'm seeing a notification that my ex-wife is calling me. Like,
you see how good energy is working.
Energy is amazing.
She might oh, there was someone else agree with me. I need to say
I'm gonna have to ask her, like, were your ears buzzing? Is that what was going on here?
Yeah, I like her. I like your ex-wife already.
Oh yeah, she's very likable. I like her too. But yeah, and I like what you were talking about there too, because I mean, it's one of the many ways that we are able to, first of all, justify staying stuck, and second of all, realize that we don't have to stay stuck. I mean, those are really just two sides of the same coin. You know, we think of them as being very different, but they're really two sides of the exact same issue. And it's an issue that comes down to one thing: we have a choice. At all times in our lives, we have a choice. We can choose that undesirable comfort zone you were referring to a moment ago, or we can say, I'm going to get out of the comfort zone, and oh my God, I'm scared, and oh wow, it's not so bad after all. Yeah, the choice is always there, and that's one of the things that I try to remind myself of, even as I look at the world and I think of all the people who are kind of in a stuck mode. I remind myself, you know what, they're choosing to stay there. Yeah. They can change that choice anytime they want to.
That's true.
Anytime at all. It's really up to them. And if they're just not ready yet, okay. Hopefully they'll be ready at some point, but you know, it's their choice.
And for those people who thinking that their great love will change or help to change the other person, please walk away. Don't even stay close to those people. They are comfortable where they are. If you're not changing, you are choosing. They don't want to be different. They don't want to be happy. They don't want to be successful, wealthy, healthy, whatever they whining and complaining about. They don't want to do this. They are comfortable where they are, and you will burn yourself to the ground if you will try to help them, to save them.
A good friend of mine who's a former co-host on the show here from a few years back posted something on Facebook. She's posting stuff all the time. This is not unusual for her. One thing she posted today, she has a favorite thing that she often said when she was on the show. She said, when you're in that place and you want to complain about just something, just call a wambulance. And she added on something today. She says, when you call the wambulance, you call the wambulance by calling 911 or UK wine. That's really true. What that choice is all about right there.
Yeah, you know? Yes, absolutely. And again, like if you feel like you need to change and you're not doing this, you better do. Because again, as I said, the life will give you some choices or some situation that you will be crying like a baby and saying and regretting, why didn't you start choosing yourself earlier? Why didn't you start like changing yourself earlier? I'm here. I'm telling you through my own experience why I didn't start loving myself, validating myself earlier, that I need to end up somewhere where I was like burned to the ground. Because I was one of those people. My love will heal you, honey.
Yeah.
And guess what? That honey just ruined me. I rebuilt myself from scratch. I rebuilt myself from scratch in a foreign country, being by myself. And believe me, it's not like Instagram worthy, and it's not like bubble bath and champagne and whatever. It's ugly cry on the bathroom floor when no one is there for you. It's sometimes nights where you need to drunk yourself out like of the reality, to get yourself drunk, I'm sorry, of the reality. Sometimes you just like thinking like, am I delusional? Something is wrong with me? But you keep going. Keep fucking going. Never give up. Doesn't matter how hard it is. Validate your feelings. Say to yourself, look in the mirror and say like, I feel awful today. I don't feel like I want to do anything, but showed up. At least showed up. And it's already a huge win. What I'm teaching, again, what I want people to hear through their hearts, celebrating small wins. It's really, really important. It will lead you to the huge success. You don't need to throw a party. You don't need to invite your friends over. You don't need to open the bottle of wine or whatever, like soda, whatever you drink in your favorite drink. You don't need to do that. It's simple. You just say like, I'm so proud of you today. I know that was hard, but look at you. What did you do? That's okay. That's beautiful. That's
It's amazing what happens when we take take control of our own lives.
And it's hard. You know, we are here laughing over it, and we're just making jokes, and I'm trying, to bring this like really important and really great information with the jokes, just because our brains, when they hear something serious or something that they need to work on, they're just like, alert, alert, alert. I'm washing my hands off. No, I'm not doing this. It it is it is it is easy, but at the same time, you need to have courage. You need to have balls to show up and say, like, I'm done. I'm done with this life. I'm done the way I'm living. I'm done the way I'm looking. That's it.
That's actually a very profound thing to say too, because we have, each one of us has like I guess you'd call it a limit, or a threshold, or a tipping point. It's like we need to have a certain number of things go against us before we finally say, okay, enough. I'm going to take control of this. I don't even know what I'm going to do, but this is not tolerable anymore. I'm done with this. And everybody seems to have a different value as to, when that happens, a different point in their life when that happens. But the ones who get to the point where they say, okay, I'm done with that, they're the ones who do the biggest growth. They're the ones who do the most growing, who do the most changes and so forth. And until you reach that, I think that's probably the best definition I've ever found as to why people don't change. They haven't reached that point of, it's too far now. I just can't do this anymore. I can't put up with this anymore. They haven't reached that breaking point yet. So the breaking point's actually, it's a transition point.
Yeah.
It's a point that I'm ready to change. I'm ready to do something. I'm ready to do whatever it takes to get out of this.
Yeah.
Yes, and there's two types of motivation: to get out of where I am right now, and to get where I want to be.
Yes, right.
And unfortunately, a lot of people, they are waiting till the point where like, I'm done. It's enough. I just get too far with this bullshit. Like, I need to be out of here as soon as I can. And that is the hardest, because you've been wasting your time, your life. You have one life, and you have no idea how many years you have left. And you've been sitting there and waiting until the moment when you just like, oh, it's terrible. Oh my God, you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're not recognizing yourself. You're looking in that empty eyes and you're just like, who is this person? I don't know her. I don't know him. What's going on? And you just like, run. Run, Forrest, run. You need to run out of that.
Yeah.
But there is a smarter people who says, okay, this is okay. What's going on here? But there's a little bit better over there. How I can get there? And they enjoying the process. So there's two types of motivation.
And there's also a lot of people just waiting to be fixed by somebody else, not taking that responsibility internally, just going, well, you're my husband, you need to fix me, you need to make everything okay. And actually, no, that's not going to work, because temporarily it may, but you've got to feel what you're feeling.
It's amazing point. I appreciate you so much for saying this, because there are so many people who unfortunately sitting there and waiting until someone will come over and help them. And guess what? The truth is that they will never be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Because doesn't matter how hard your partner gonna try, if you are empty here, he or she will never be able to fulfill with the happiness, love, appreciation, validation. Doesn't matter how much you will try. Doesn't matter how much you will try to, you know, do unreal something for another person. And in this case, you, honey, are responsible for both lives. You draining your partner who is going above and beyond just to help you, and you draining yourself. So you ruining two lives. Are you really
Yes.
want to take a responsibility for those lives? And God forbid you have kids. Your kids is like dancing around you trying to fulfill your needs, and you're still not happy with them. And then those kids are paying me money for getting fixed. I mean, sometimes thank you, parents, but but we need to have a mentally healthy society.
I mean, I
So,
do say to my kids, I will break you. I'm not meant to be perfect. I do make mistakes, but that's that whole learning, yes, it's okay to fail. Yes, it's okay to be angry. And yes, I dealt with this badly, to teach those skills that it's not all about.
and then at the same time, you should remember that you're not just mother. You're a woman, you're a
Mm-hmm.
pretty girl who's living here inside, your wife, your sister, you what are those roles are? You are podcast host, you like what all those roles. But first of all, you are a human being, and you that little beautiful girl who is living here inside you and need to be taken care of every single day. And if you need to say your kids and your husband cough, you are allowed to say that, and that's okay. And if you need to go and stay under the rain and like jump out of the hill or whatever, like ride a bicycle, whatever you will love to do in your childhood, go and do that. Doesn't matter how old you are, 30, 60, 70, just do this.
Mm-hmm.
And
Very.
that's fine. And just in that case, you will be fulfilled, and you won't put a lot of pressure on your kids. And you're a great mother, you're a great mom, and you doing everything fine for your kids, and they will appreciate it. If you think that you are a bad mom or whatever because your kids are crying, upset, or you get upset or mad or angry, you cannot provide, you cannot do something, I'm sorry, you're wrong.
Mm.
You can disagree with me, but I disagree with you. You're wrong. You good mother, you great woman.
Well,
It's a life.
if you bring them up to think that everything's perfect and give them everything they need, and they don't have this resilience to other emotions, as you're saying, it's in adulthood, that's very hard to learn those ones. They need to learn it early.
They need to learn you cannot do anything perfect. Doesn't matter how hard you're gonna try. Doesn't matter how hard you're gonna try. Doesn't matter how many books you're gonna read. Doesn't matter how many professionals you're gonna listen to, and they will give you all this advice. You will make some traumas to your kids. But again, and it depends how deep and how severe are that trauma.
Yeah.
That is different. What we can talk about. But again, first of all, accept yourself for who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You can be upset, you can be angry, you can be mad, and that's okay,
Yes.
because you have all this spectrum of feelings living inside you. Accept those and honor those,
Mm-hmm.
because they are trying to show you something. Your anger or your irritation is saying that you are tired, or you've made so many attempts and this is like failing, it's not working. So please stop doing those attempts and let it be.
Mm-hmm.
Let them be. I don't know what they do when upsetting. Like, let them be the way they are. Let them scream, let them cry, let them fight, let them do whatever they do. They will learn this world through their own mistakes. You cannot protect your kids from everything. There is a major things that you can explain how to live this world. What are the major rules of this world? But they will grow up. They growing up every single day, and they learn this world, and they making their own mistakes, and they make their own conclusions. And like, hey, okay, it's gonna be painful if I'm gonna do this or that. And that is their choice. And it doesn't matter how old they are, because they say like, oh, they're just 5 years old. I need to teach them how to live their life. You just stay there and watch them. Let them make their own mistakes, and let them understand. Like, if I'm gonna do this, I might get hurt. Oh, my mom got yelled at me. So, and I have a choice here. Do I want it to get yelled, or do I want to do something that, something neutral or whatever? Let them take responsibility from the earliest age they can take it.
There's a really interesting theme going on in this conversation right now, and I'll flash it back to something you mentioned earlier about getting support. Somebody who's constantly supporting you, but you're not actually able to take that support on board. And what that usually means is you're not supporting yourself. You really can't support somebody else who isn't supporting themselves. I mean, it's a kind of a myth that we all, not all, that many of us buy into, that I can provide support to somebody who isn't supporting herself, who isn't taking care of herself. But you really can't. There's really no way to do it. That's why it fails every time.
Yeah, it can be a magic.
Taking support within themselves, building their own support within themselves. No amount of outside support is going to help.
Yeah, it can be a short period when they're like, oh my God, you fulfilled my life. This is so beautiful. I'm so grateful. He or she, doesn't matter, if they don't take care of themselves, of their feelings. And this new partner showed up in their life, and just like, oh my God, I never felt like this before. Run. If you hear something about like, never, oh my God, you fulfilled my life, run from that person. Because they will try to squeeze out of you like every single dime, every single emotion, feeling, everything.
Yeah.
And that's true. If they, like, you're absolutely right. Most of the people, they
whereas when you are actively working to support yourself from within, then the support that you get from outside becomes genuine support. Because at that point, it's like, okay, I'm rooting for you. That's the kind of support you're really looking for. The support that says, yeah, you're doing it. Go for it. Go, 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 go.
Yeah. And I don't want you to live in this magic ball and thinking that you will start working on yourself, validate your feelings and emotions, celebrate your small wins, celebrate yourself, and you will be always fine. Again, back to what I said earlier today. Experiencing good and bad emotions, as the society label it, that's fine. But the difference is between where are you right now and where you will be, is that when you feel down, you feel blue, you know what to do. You know whom to talk to, you know how to deal with your own feelings, you know what tool you need to use to calm yourself down, to explain yourself what's going on, to cheer yourself, to validate yourself, to understand yourself. This is the difference. We're not talking here like if you're gonna, start like working with me, with other professional, like celebrating slowly, like, and everything gonna be like stagnant, If everything is stagnant, if you are always happy and at the same level, it means you're dead. Like, there's no life there.
Flatline.
The life is like ups and downs, like the heartbeat. It's life. It's life. It's heartbeat. It's like up and down, a little bit stagnant. Okay, up and down, a little bit stagnant. Like, this is the only way to feel happy, when you feel every single moment of your life and enjoy it.
Feel too.
Yeah, and like if you are upset, I mentioned this today. Sometimes in the morning, I'm waking up and I'm already cranky. I'm already that like morning bitch who doesn't want to talk to anyone. Like, don't talk to me, anyone. Don't look at me. Don't even breathe in this direction. Like, don't do this. We all have those mornings. Like, you literally just woke up. You didn't even open your eyes, and you already like want to like like ninja. Wow, everyone is out of here, right? What I'm doing. And like I woke up and I realized that I am this grumpy, moody human being. I'm not a woman anymore. I'm just a human being. What I'm saying to myself, like, okay, good morning, fucking sunshine. Already. Like, I'm teasing myself And this is the beauty of this. You just teasing yourself. You're just like, oh my God, look at this. Look at this. Who woke up? Monkeys here. You know, like tease yourself. Like just make a fun of yourself. Just like, oh my God, this woman woke up. Okay, everyone is laid down. Everyone is out. She needs some space. And it will help you. Because again, like it won't change your mood, like, you know, and in a second, but you acknowledge your own feelings, and they're like something that everyone around needs to be careful if they want to talk to you. But at the same time, it's helping. For me, it's really helping when I'm like just teasing myself, like, oh my God, look at you.
I do wonder though if I think what you're saying is bang on, because you still got to feel what you're feeling. Yes, I'm grouchy, but I'm going to try. And, you know, you have to have that acknowledgement and that accountability. And I do wonder if I see a lot of stuff on social media and things where people are just like, just be positive, just be positive. And are you actually bypassing by going, okay, I'm not feeling this. It's all going to be good and it's all going to be angels today. And I just wondered if there's a way of, can it be detrimental to be too positive sometimes and not feel what you feel?
Yeah, unicorns and angels. In my understanding, being positive, it's how I'm staying positive and how I want you to stay positive. It's again, acknowledge the feelings, not eat yourself up, not beat yourself up for being sad or upset or being grumpy. Just acknowledge, okay, I'm grumpy. Why? What happened to me? What exactly happened to me? What made me upset? And this is, I'm calling positive. It's where you acknowledging yourself. This is what is positivity. I don't believe in this, what you just say, all these butterflies and unicorns and angels and like, hey, someone just like, you know, I don't know, someone just lost a job and you're just like, yay, let's crack open the bottle of champagne and celebrate it or whatever. No, stay positive. It's just like, oh my freaking God, what just happened? You letting those feelings go. You talking about those feelings, and you don't need anyone to say like, what the heck just happened? I'm speechless. I like you. You literally talking to yourself. You vented those feelings out. This is a positivity.
Because I know sort of when my mum died, I felt obviously just such sadness. And actually, I ended up finding the appreciation and the beauty in that sadness. So it wasn't such a restricting emotion anymore because it was processing it.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, you processing the emotions, whatever they are. And the sooner you will let be yourself sad if something bad happened, right? The sooner you will become happier and acknowledge and accept yourself and the situation. Because it's really hard to accept changes in your life. And that's okay. That's fine. It's our brain working, doing its job 24/7. 24/7. They're trying to protect us and saying, oh my God, what just happened? I have all these feelings. And that's absolutely fine. You need to cry. You need to acknowledge that I am sad, I'm upset, and let it be. If you need to cry for half of the day, cry for half of the day. If you need to cry for 2 days, you need to cry for 2 days. But you need to make an agreement with yourself. You're saying, like, hey, I'm crying for 2 days as hard as I can right now. Screaming, I'm you, whatever you need to do for 2 days. I'm just letting it go. And then I'm coming back to the light. I'm acknowledging my pain. I'm saying, yes, I'm in pain. Yes, I'm upset. Yes, I'm frustrated. I just lost someone I loved. But I am here, and the God gave me life to live it full, to live it through, to be happy.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah.
One of the things that happens a lot here on the show is that we get into a discussion, we look up and we say, where'd the time go?
Yes.
It's amazing how often that happens, and usually it means that well, actually, always it means that the show was a really good show, and this is no exception in this case. But we do have a few things we'd like to do to kind of round it all off and make it nice and clean ending and so forth. And the first thing that I always like to do is basically point out that Zoia, you're talking about all this great stuff. There are probably people who want to find out more about you and what you're talking about and so forth. We should probably tell them how to find you. I mean, that's a good idea, don't you think?
Oh, thank you so much. Of course. I have my website where you can purchase a couple of programs. I am an author to a couple of courses. If you're experiencing a battle for your protective order, I have a greatest guide. If you don't have much money to hire the lawyer, it will be your best tool you can use. My website is zoyelitewoman.com. And also you can find me in social media, Instagram, ZY Elite Woman, and YouTube, ZY Elite Woman.
And you also have a course, right? How to celebrate small wins course. We should talk about that.
Yes, this is a small little course, really fun, really easy. It's just I think 40 minutes, 40 or 42 minutes, and you can purchase it online on my website. And it's really affordable. There's a lot of tools, and you are absolutely welcome to ask me as many questions as you have if you have some problems. And we cannot do this, but I will guarantee you, if you will do everything that I offer you to do, you will see the difference. You will see yourself different.
Which is exactly what we need in the first place anyway. So that's a beautiful thing. Second thing I like to do at the end of every episode is to turn to my co-host, Anne Marie, and ask her for her take on this because, as you experienced, I tend to ask most of the questions, but Anne Marie also jumps in at various times too. And because of that division of responsibilities, if you will, she gets to listen a lot and kind of absorb from the listener's point of view. That's why I'm always curious to know how she ties it all together.
And so she was making some notes.
Oh yeah, she's a note taker.
You can see me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, now I will, take responsibility for everything that I said. she's like making some notes.
Well, some of it I was taking for personally because I just thought it was brilliant, some of the sentences. But for me, I think at the very beginning, something you said was really powerful, was like, there's no painkiller for the heart. And there isn't, and it's looking after it and honoring yourself and your internal power. And you were going on about boundaries, but inviting what you want into your life, not what others want for your life. I mean, it's just such powerful. But I also, as a final thing, the whole celebrating yourself. I think if we can all find one thing every day that we're proud of ourselves for, wow, wouldn't that just boost us and bring us up?
That's true. Please don't believe to anyone. They are lying to you. Only you knows what is true about you. Only you know what is in here in your heart. Accept it, cherish it, value it. You are enough. You are loved, and you never be alone because you always have you. With all my heart, with all my love, with all my gratitude, I really thank you guys for having me on this show, for letting me speak to your audience, and I really hope that I was able to touch their hearts, because this is the world that we're living in right now, really fast, really changing, and they're teaching you not to feel because you need to go fast. I really want you to stop for a second and feel yourself. And they're going to be the best thing that you can ever do for yourself. Because again, there is no painkiller for your broken heart.
That's beautiful. Yes. And we want to thank you also for joining us on the show today and for sharing and teaching and sharing all these wonderful things that you learned through your own experience. I mentioned there are three things that we like to do. The last one, the one that I like to wrap up on, is something that I started a few years ago because I noticed something. I noticed that now that we live in the 21st century, we are all content creators, right? You come onto our show, you do other shows, you have your courses you've created. book writing. I mean, there's all kinds of things that people do in order to share content, to share ideas, to share knowledge and experiences with each other through this one wonderful medium we have called the internet. And in the process of doing that, there are so many of us who are now giving, who are being people of service to others and putting stuff out there, and we're touching lives in ways that we never even know about. We never hear about it. Sometimes we do, which is wonderful. If we get an email or a text message or an Instagram or something like that, but a lot of the time we don't hear about it and we don't get credit for it. And I said, oh, wait. We should be giving credit for that. So, Zoia, I want to tell you that on behalf of those people you've never met, never seen, never will meet, never will see, I want to thank you for what you're doing, because you're making a difference in this world.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's touching my heart. Thank you so much. It's really important to me. This is my mission on this earth, and oh my, I never planned it. I didn't. So you just, again, as I said, touched my heart, and I'm a very giving person. So for those who is listening us, anytime when you heard the show and it's your birthday, you can find me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram, and send me one word, birthday. And I have this mini course, how to celebrate yourself, how to celebrate your birthday solo. There's so many people who are afraid to have their, like, the birthday is coming because they're alone, they don't have a partner, or they're like somewhere, and and I have this small, wonderful, beautiful, deep course that I will give you for free.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Zoia. We really appreciate you, and best of luck with what you're doing out there in the world. You're going to continue to do great things.
Thank you so much.
And thank you to our podcast listeners everywhere. We'll see you all next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.